Hello and welcome back to the second part of 1-3. From the last part, you should remember that we were working with measuring and constructing angles, and it dealt with measuring an angle, finding the angle between two rays. It dealt whether they were acute, obtuse, right, or straight, and also the different kinds of parts that the angle has. So from the endpoint that represents the vertex between two rays, and the interior and exterior of an angle. So what we're going to work on in the second half is that we're going to be working with angle addition postulate, which pretty much says that if S is the interior of angle XYZ, then angle XYS plus angle SYZ is equal to angle XYZ. So what it's saying that you can say that X, Y, and Z, the angle right here represented by the shaded black spot, plus S, Y, Z, the angle shaded in by blue. That if you add the black to the blue shaded areas, it will create this huge long angle. So that's pretty much what we're going to be working with in this part. And yeah, that's the angle addition postulate. This kind of sounds familiar to the whole segment addition that we were doing earlier in the week. Not earlier in the week, but earlier in the semester, where we had this line, and we had like small part x, and then another small part which was like 5x plus 2, and then this would represent 24, the whole long, however long the line is. So it's like they're giving us how long the whole line is, and these two small parts, when they're together, they add up to the 24, to the however long the line is. So it's pretty much similar to what we're doing here. So angles. When you're working with angles, there's also ways that they are congruent to each other. There's angles that have the same 45-degree angle. So you look around the room, there's 90 degrees everywhere, and you're able to understand what simply by just looking at it, because they're the corners of your room or the corners of your doors. Okay, so right here, congruent angles, angle ABC, and then we have angle DEF, and from here, you're usually given, I guess this could be considered a tick mark that goes all the way down from A to C, and all the way down from D to F. And so that will represent that they are both congruent, similar to the little tick marks I showed you. So here it is, that's like the midpoint, the little tick marks. Okay, so similar to that. So angle ABC is congruent to angle DEF, and this is a different way of actually looking at things. So let's go ahead and try our first example. So the measure of angle ABC is 40 degrees. So ABC here is 40 degrees for our shaded black area. And angle ABD is equal to 85. ABD. So the total length of this whole entire line, this whole entire angle is 85 degrees. And now, just by looking at this angle and that angle, how long do you think DBC is, just by looking at it? You have 85 and 40. Now let's go ahead and use our angle addition postulate. Okay, so we have measure of ABC right here, we have 40 degrees, plus the measure of angle CBD, my mistake. So we're asked to find the measure of CB and the measure of the angle of CBA. Then let's go ahead and jot that down, CBD. So how long is the whole entire angle? Measure of angle ABD. ABD was 85 degrees. So let's go ahead and subtract here. Minus 40 degrees. Minus 40 degrees. So the measure of angle CBD is equal to 45 degrees. Alright, and that'll be it for this one right here. 45 degrees. So 45 plus 40 equals 85. Okay, so the 85 represents the whole bigger angle that's created here. Now let's go ahead and try our second example. So the measure of angle XYZ is 80 degrees with this black shaded area. And then the measure of angle XYA is 135 degrees. Okay, so they gave us how long the big angle is, they gave us how long the small angle is, so we're asked to find the measure of angle ZYA. So ZYA. We're asked to find this angle right here. So by looking at 135, the big angle, and 80 degrees, the smaller angle, what do you think this angle needs to be? Okay, so let's go ahead and find out. So the measure of angle XYZ plus the measure of angle ZYA is equal to the measure of angle XYA. Okay, so the XYZ is 80 degrees because that's given to us. The measure of ZYA, we're asked to look for that. We don't know what it is. So measure of angle ZYA. The measure of angle XYA is 135 because they were given that, and by looking at our picture here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start solving for ZYA. So minus 80 from both sides to get this cancel out. Measure of ZYA is equal to, what's 135 minus 80?